Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today I'm doing a somewhat of a podcast with a friend of mine who I guess refers to himself as Q in this one.
Hello, everyone.
His name is Bond, James Bond. Yes. And today we'll be covering a topic of something that I've been seeing a lot happen in forums and even in mainstream media, which is uh, pretty much the impeachment of Trump and essentially what the domino effect of that would be. And I showed you a couple articles before. You saw my first video, right?
Did I? Yeah, absolutely. I was one of the first people to see it, I'm pretty sure.
I think you're the only person to see it. I don't know. I haven't.
I've seen the view count. That is not true.
Yeah, well, keep in mind some of those views might be mine as well, just tweaking the edit settings. But anyways, you also saw a tweet about this too, right? About trying to impeach Trump or something like that.
Yeah. So initially, when you had suggested this as a topic of conversation, I thought this is kind of weird because at least the talk I had seen about impeachment in regards to Donald Trump it was all around the time he got inaugurated, where it seemed like people were just reaching for anything they could find. But I did see some congressman the other day or congressperson tweet something that implies it's still an ongoing issue. So after that, I texted you and I said, "All right, let's talk about this."
And we was also dealing with other things, even at when Trump was uh, elected president-elect, dealing with like death threats and stuff like that too. And I feel like it's gone downhill essentially, and now it's just come to a point of where the far left is saying, "Oh yeah, impeach Trump as soon as he gets in" and stuff like that. And I think that the majority of people, I'm gonna go ballsy and say all of the people that are saying impeach Trump don't understand how the process works. And yeah, I know it's not how I usually am. I like to cover my ass a little bit with, oh well, sometimes, some of the time, almost. Oh, no, I'm going balls to the wall on this one.
No, I'm not laughing because of like what you said or how you said it. I'm just laughing because it's true.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, people saying impeach Trump, and as I said, I don't think they understand the process of it. First, he has to do a action that would be impeachable, and people are people commenters on boards. The board I use typically is Yahoo because I'm a masochist and I like to cut myself a little bit while reading these articles. Because fuck it, why not? It's better than bashing my head in with a hammer, right? Trying to read the Huffington Post or BuzzFeed.
I mean, if it's 2009, I could see it, but
uh, but no, it's just it's all speculation is what they have. I remember one of them saying like, "Oh, he's working with the Russians. That's treason. Impeach him." And several things come to mind. First, it's nothing more than just a story that the far left has come out with that there are ties to Trump and Russia. And the more scary part is, uh, according to WikiLeaks, it was actually Clinton who had the ties to Russia selling uranium.
I didn't hear about that story. But
Really? Yeah,
I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
yeah, and these people just seem to overlook that fact on it. It's I don't know why. Are they so blinded by this hatred of Trump that it's like, oh yeah, he's evil, he's literal Hitler, and that's another thing I'm gonna get to that they just straight out say impeach him now, otherwise it's gonna be the death of America. I mean, that's the vibe I'm getting. I mean, hell, you after the election, uh, there were protests going around all across the country, and if memory serves, you were living on campus at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Yeah, and you saw, if I'm remembering right, you said you saw a protest, right?
Yeah, I put some video of it and a snarky comment on my Facebook, but
Wait, what?
or not Facebook, Snapchat. So
Oh,
yeah, I you probably didn't even see my my recording of it.
yeah, it's starting to make me go insane here a little bit. Like I know I would have remembered seeing something like that.
No.
But yeah, damn, I'll have to look at that later then because I was curious about it when you brought it up before. And damn.
But what, the protest on campus?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it seemed to be like a 3 day bit of frustration, and then it
Damn.
died out. So
I have to go back in the calendar because I thought I was on class on one of those days. Or wait, no, the election was what? A Thursday? No, a Tuesday. The 8th or the 9th.
I'm not going to help you out of this pickle, dude. I don't know what day of the week it was, and I really don't care.
You bugger. No, I'm gonna say at the very latest it was the 9th. I could easily look this up and correct myself, but the 9th seems to stick out in my mind. Oh wait, yeah, that it would make sense. It would be the 9th because the day. Wait, no, no, it'd be the 8th because I had my accounting courses on Monday and Wednesday, and I remember talking to a couple of classmates who were just incredibly ecstatic and just laughing their asses off about the reaction that was going on. Oh, good
Yeah,
times.
yeah, it's quite a mixture when you put college students who seem to want to be protected from anything uh, that they don't like, and combine that with something undesirable politically, and yeah, a political temper tantrum ensued.
Yeah, that's and I know this is a long road back to the whole impeaching Trump thing, but it's just it's an overreaction to the election is what I think it is. And I said I'd get back to Trump being literally Hitler and people thinking that this is grounds for impeachment. Last time I checked, Hitler is dead and has long been dead. Ergo, Trump cannot literally, and air quotes, literally be Hitler.
I you and I uh, you and I may disagree about things, but the semantics of the word literally are perhaps the least consequential thing we could disagree about.
How the hell is it semantics if they're saying Trump is literally Hitler? I mean,
Um,
th
Go ahead.
there's I remember seeing a video about it. I can't remember which YouTuber I was watching at the time. I could probably give a rough idea. Anyways, they were doing a video about how the word literally in one dictionary definition of literally was changed from or no, I'm sorry, they added a definition. It wasn't changed, they added a definition so that the added definition was literally now meant figuratively. So
Yeah,
I brought this up to you before, I think.
I don't remember if I've had this conversation before, but look, dude, dictionaries define words as they are used by people. They don't define words as they should be used, and so by the dictionary reflecting the use of literally as figuratively, uh, being literally Hitler could mean using using synonyms figuratively Hitler.
Figuratively and literally are not synonyms, though, they are antonyms.
Look, I'm a little bit of a little bit of a prescriptivist when it comes to linguistics. So I wish this weren't true either, but uh, I don't have a lot of respect for people who don't know how to use the word literally correctly. So anyone saying he is literally Hitler, they can't even get their language right, let alone their politics.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, people when comparing people, not just Trump, but other people in general, to like Nazis, Hitler, using terms racist, sexist, bigots, blah 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 blah. Holy shit, am I getting off topic here? Hello, everybody, and welcome to my one of my rants. Apparently,
That's what we're here for, dude.
I thought this doesn't matter what I think. Actually, it kind of does at this point because it is my channel, but I digress. No, what it does is it diminishes the term, and I do promise everyone that we will get back to the friggin' topic. But damn it, this was a long time coming, and I haven't talked with you in a long time here.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Diminishes what term by misusing it?
Um, well, as I said, like calling people Nazi or Hitler, sexist, racist, bigot, even when people aren't. I mean, I said if I go down to campus right now and protest and with like a little sign that says "Thank God for Trump" and wear a MAGA hat, I mean, I'm probably going to get shot first off. But I mean, that's probably more so the area than the people, or a combination of both. I don't know. But I'm going to be called all sorts of names, and I guarantee you 100% that one of them will be Nazi.
Yeah. The problem is, to me, it's not when people misuse the word Nazi. The problem isn't the language; it's the idea underneath, and the thought process of a person comparing a president of the United States, no matter how much they may like them or dislike them, to a Nazi shows little understanding for what the term means and little focus on trying to precisely state what one is trying to articulate. So it's not a problem in that people are simply, comparing him to the wrong dictator. The problem is that the underlying belief that Trump is bad, and I'm expressing a way of thinking about. I'm expressing. How do I say this? Yeah, there's so many problems with misusing a word, especially an important word like Nazi or racist or sexist or whatever. I know it's 2017, but if you go back to the 2012 election, when Barack Obama was running against Mitt Romney, I really hope that's the election. I'm getting my back straight here.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the claims brought against Mitt Romney was that he was sexist and racist and various ists. And now in this election, we see Trump being called all of that stuff. We see it being called more. People seem to have forgotten about the story of the boy who cried wolf. If you cry wolf enough times when there is no wolf, people will stop listening to you saying wolf. And furthermore, when there is an actual wolf, or there's an actual racist or sexist or misogynist or whatever you want to call it, people will be deaf to your cries.
And that's the idea I've been toying with too, and I come to the same conclusion every single time.
It's a parable about not lying about stuff, or people will cease to believe you.
Yeah. And it's I mean, I have my own gripes about Trump. Don't get me wrong on it, but labeling him all these things is incorrect. I mean, there's examples of people calling him a racist, even though he's clearly not, a sexist when he's clearly not. And then Hitler, I just want to throw this out there as kind of not really a non sequitur, but the closest U.S. president that we've had to Hitler was Franklin Roosevelt.
Boy, you're coming out swinging with controversial statements.
Well, I mean, I'm not too far off on this, though, because in a very broad sense of things, there's shit, there's actually a lot of parallels, believe it or not. I mean, Hitler took Germany and helped raise its economic status. I mean, FDR, well, economists now agree that FDR kind of expanded, or rather extended the Great Depression, but I've got my own gripes with him too. Anyways, Hitler also was known for, killing Jews, putting them in concentration camps. Well, what did FDR do to Japanese Americans during World War II?
Yeah, internment camps in the United States.
Exactly. That's why it's just I can't see it. He was the only president, as far as I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this in comments or if you know, Q. He was the only president to have done this to U.S. citizens. Now, I say U.S. citizens if we're going back to like the 1800s. There's kind of a lot of problems in there. That's why the key term is U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. We're talking about like Native Americans and whatnot, right?
Yeah, that's. I just wanted to make the point clear on that. Not so much for you. It's yeah, and then now having on the basis that Trump is literally Hitler, is sexist, blah blah blah, is a traitor. That's something that should not be taken lightly as being called a traitor. And using this as grounds for impeachment. Haha, you guys thought that this was going off on a tangent, but no, rounded it back right into the freaking topic. And it and yeah, we also have the whole Russian conspiracy theory going on here. But there's and now I have been reading on forums that there's a counter conspiracy theory saying that oh, it was the CIA that hacked the DNC and Podesta's emails and made it look like it was the Russians. And I'm just sitting here going, no, 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 no! Stop with the theories! God damn it, people! Oh, it's if you do not have evidence or any grounds for impeachment whatsoever, there is no proof, I repeat, no proof that Trump has worked with the Russians or had Russian influence throughout his campaign or the election. Now, did Russia help Trump win the election by releasing emails? Fuck if I know. I don't know if they hacked the emails or not. It's been speculation. And it's just that's no grounds for impeachment. I mean, the I saw another commenter a few days ago, which actually spurred this topic on, was God, I should have saved it. What essentially talking about like the executive orders that Trump has signed about how they are unconstitutional and that those are grounds for impeachment. Now, as someone who has read through the Constitution a little bit, I can honestly say that no. While his executive orders are very easily debatable whether they are good or bad, he has been in the right every single time so far, including the travel ban that he had wanted to put in place. And
Well, I
well,
disagree with you on that, but that's
oh,
okay. Keep going.
well, I mean, the president is able to. Oh God, if I can remember, I'll pull up the Constitution. I think it was under section no Article 6, I think. Anyways, it was pretty much stating. Uh, I frankly tried to type this out and oh no, you should. No, wait. This is an amendment. Fucking, I want an article. You fucking dipshit. Google. Yeah, damn it. Um, it was essentially saying that the president has the power to enact to act to ensure that the U.S. is protected against invasions.
Hmm.
Now, and as I said, I do want to look at it, whether it's it's one of the articles, I remember that.
Do you want to find the exact thing, or do you want me to paraphrase what it is?
I mean, you have it right in front of you, right? Or you know what I'm talking about at least, right?
Uh, I do know what you're talking about. I don't have it in front of me. I've tried to, since I'm a newbie to podcasting, I don't have experience on how to do some things. So for this episode, I've tried to limit my mouse and keyboard movements and sound. So I've tried not to pull anything up lest I contribute a click, 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 click to the podcast
Yeah.
or show or whatever the heck word you want to choose.
Well, I mean, go for the paraphrase, I guess. It's better than just sitting here in silence and just listening to me go, trying to buy time.
It's basically the Constitution or the amendment that you're referencing basically says in short that it's the president's duty and or power to protect the country from threats foreign and domestic, and executive orders are a tool to do that.
Yeah. And that's if you look at the travel ban, and we can debate on the travel ban all we want, whether we agree with it or disagree with it. But I do still hold firm that that is within the Constitution. Whether he's right or not, different conversation for a different time. But you also had what else did he have? A repealing part of Obamacare, I remember, and then part of a housing market or housing sort of one. Ah, damn.
Are you talking about actions
Yeah, the
Trump has taken, or
no,
what do you?
the executive orders that Trump has already signed.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I don't know if there's a way to see the exhaustive list.
Well, this is gonna. Oh yeah, let's trust NBC News for a list of executive orders. Yeah, very good idea, pondering. Fucking dumbass I
But
am.
this these examples of executive orders that Trump has issued are what was the point you were making with them?
My point was that the person that was making the comment about them being unconstitutional and thus grounds for impeachment were wrong or incorrect.
Yeah, that's someone talking out of their behind.
Yeah, and that's a fun little side note too, is that the Supreme Court actually doesn't have the power to say what is constitutional, what is not constitutional. That was not a power granted to them in the Constitution. It's just something that they sort of made up. So, fun little history lesson for you there. Just a little tad bit. And then,
After we're done, send me more information on that. Interesting.
oh, yeah, crap. Forgot where I was going with it. But yeah, it's just people are, as you said, talking out of their ass and trying to come up with like half truths or even straight out lies to try to say, oh, this is what he's done, ergo it's bad, ergo impeach him, when that's not the case. Now, we get to the crux of the matter here, and it's what would happen if Trump was impeached through unjust means for like a bullshit reason. Let's say, for the sake of argument, we'll go with my favorite example, saying that Trump took a shit and forgot to wipe his own ass. Media completely covered it. The far left lost their friggin' minds, and now somehow, some way, uh, the entirety of the House and Senate, all of just Congress is like pissed off about this and just want him out, so they decide to impeach him for forgetting to wipe his own ass. Let's just say.
Okay.
Now, actually, that example doesn't work out so well. Let's say midterm elections, Republicans lose majority of House in some way, shape, or form, even though that's most likely not going to happen. But let's just say they lose majority and it goes to the Democrats. And so Democrats begin to impeach, and some of the rhinos don't, or some of the rhinos agree with the Democrats.
Rhino being RINO, Republican in name only.
Correct. And so they impeach Trump for forgetting to wipe his own ass. Now, what the far left doesn't realize on this is that if they just straight out impeach Trump like that, that's going to cause a chain reaction and a domino effect. Because what's going to happen to the next uh, president who's a Democrat?
Um, I don't know. Well, okay. So first of all, after if Donald Trump did get impeached from office, Mike Pence would become the president of the United States. So I'm
Is
not sure if that's relevant to what you're saying or not.
no, that's another scary thought all on its own.
Okay. I don't know what you're getting at, actually.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is if if Trump is impeached for just unjust or unknown or bullshit reasons, like I had used in the example here, then the right side, if the right side, the conservatives, and I'd actually argue even the moderates too, are going to get fed up. And so for the next uh, Democrat that's elected, they're going to start saying impeach him. And what's going to happen is the Democrats are going to lose control of Congress, and then the Republicans will impeach him, will impeach the next Democrat president. And it's a never ending cycle then of just, okay, we don't like this guy because of political party, so impeach. And that's what they're not realizing. What these people aren't realizing is they're setting it up to even further split the country than what it already is. And I another conversation for a different time on that one, but and I
Yeah, it's true that if um, any president, Trump included, were to be impeached on grounds that were unjust, that precedent would then be set, and could be a tool of any Congress to remove a president they disliked. So yeah, that would be extremely. I don't know. There would be a great deal of implications from it, and most of them would not be good.
yeah, I get you. It's another thing that's brought up too is where does that end? I mean, is Pence going to be the next one that's impeached, followed by Ryan, followed by next person who's ever going to be in line, so on and so forth? And is this merry-go-round going to end in 4 years on the election, or are they going to try to keep this going for until a Democrat is elected? And that's I don't know. It's a slippery slope to go down. You look at what the far left has been going on about, calling people these racists, sexist, xenophobes, Islamophobes, homophobes, progressivephobes, which is an actual thing, believe it or not. I had to look this up, not because I was called it or anything, because I thought it would just add one more to the ridiculousness of it. I want to look up intelligent phobe, but that would go more for them.
I think you would find more results searching for anti-intellectualism.
Yeah, more or less. But it's just being labeled all these things is not doing anything to alleviate the partisanship that we have in this country right now. I mean, you can't even disagree on one topic, on one subject without being labeled all this bullshit. It's like, "Oh yeah, we're all for abortion." Well, I'm not exactly for late-term abortion. "Oh, well, you're just a friggin' sexist." Like, yeah, why don't you come over there and say that within arm's reach, you little shit. Uh, I don't know, man. I just if as I said, if Trump is impeached, it becomes for unjust reasons, of course. I, I I think even if Trump is impeached and they were just, I think a lot of people will still be angry about that.
Well, I think we're all fortunate that I don't think that's a very distinct possibility that such an impeachment actually goes through. So at least there's a bit of hope for you.
Uh, never know. The world is a very strange place after all. It's I don't know. It's just where again, saying Trump is impeached, where does it end? I mean, next president is probably going to be impeached, and the next one after that impeached. I mean, then it just relations get worse and worse as it happens. People are now the pole, the two ends are becoming more and more. further apart. And it's just the people in the middle who are moderate are the ones that are getting pushed around through all this bullshit.
Well, I mean, you're seeing it on the front lines on Yahoo message boards.
Uh, Everyone needs to do an introspection, is just like take a step back from all of it and see what their views actually lead to. What the far left is pushing, what the far right is pushing. And while it may be incredibly difficult, they need to separate their beliefs and what they've been raised on. And it's I don't know, I think they need to find some sort of middle ground here.
Yeah, I always welcome calls for bipartisanship and reaching across party lines. Um, I know you and I have disagreed in the past on how divided our country is and whether we're becoming more divided or not. Um, but in a case like um, what we're talking about, in calling someone literally Hitler, that is definitely not doing any favors for any sort of mm, conciliatory tone. It's definitely not helping bipartisanship. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And that's I think with all the labels too is it's not helping. It's like you have just in the Libertarian Party you have like 5 or 6 different types of libertarians. It's like, "Oh, you're going to have to explain this to me too, is that, oh, you're a socialist libertarian." I had to do a double take on that because socialism and libertarianism don't go together.
I'm sorry, dude. I can't explain that one to you, and that's not a matter of semantics. I it's not that I don't know enough about it. It's that mm, I, I don't know how theoretically you could sell anything called that. So I don't know, man. I don't know anything more than you do about that one.
Yeah. And then you have like anarcho libertarianism. Almost said communism there. That's a different thing entirely. And it's then you have far left is just like liberals, Democrats, progressives, just and right side Republicans, GOP, Tea Party. It's like, oh fucking hell, man. It's what I think is happening is that the identity politics of it all is what's not doing us any favors, in that it's constantly trying to put us into separate groups, into our own sort of labels.
Group labels.
Yeah, and then try to identify us in that as that. Well, I've got some bad news. Is that I'm kind of a little bit in every single bin. So what the hell do I fall under then?
Uh, yeah, I am no fan at all of identity politics either. So
Yeah,
you have a sympathetic, co-host on that one.
yeah. It's yeah. I have to wonder what's gonna happen first. Excuse me. Um, I did see a poll a few weeks ago saying that there was a lot of people, I think it was like 70% plus, thought that the country was heading towards a place where violence was going to be needed to solve the issues. In other words, about 70% of the people expected there to be a civil war to occur.
Whoa, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Especially if you're using a poll, those two statements are not necessarily the same.
True. However, and I do criticize every poll that I see, such as what was the sample size on it, where was the sample taken, was it a random sample, uh, stuff like this. Well, that's another thing though, is that believe it or not, one of the Breitbart writers came out with a book saying that they had predicted a Trump win all along, even though polls were the polls by other news sites were pulling Hillary to win by a landslide. And their methodology was, I can't really say interesting or unique. They asked first was what the person's, uh, who they supported, and then who their neighbor supported. And the polling showed that, essentially paraphrasing, people didn't want to be ostracized for supporting Trump, so they said that they would support Hillary. But when it came to their neighbors, who their neighbors supported, uh, I can't remember the percentage, but it was a significant amount of people said that their neighbors supported Trump. And so they used this as a measure of that person or people in the household were actually Trump supporters disguising themselves as people who supported Clinton. And I think that's where a lot of the polls for approval rating right now on Trump is going to be inaccurate. Is that among the other ways to manipulate polls is that people are afraid to say who they support. People on the right are afraid to say who they really support. And you look at what the far left has been doing. They riot, they attack people out of nowhere, and it's just uh, it's not good when people can't even express their own speech onto as to what politics they're into, the party that they're in, who they support, and stuff like that. So that's yeah.
I didn't know if you had something you wanted to say at the end there.
I was pretty well finished.
Okay. Um, on in regards to the stuff that we said, we can come back to later. Is there any of that that sticks out in your mind that it was like, hey, we have to get back to that?
No, not really. I mean, Trump, Hitler, polling, Trump impeachment, blah 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 blah.
You want to talk about the executive order, the quote unquote Muslim ban?
I did go searching for the friggin' article on the Constitution. Couldn't find anything though. Kind of blaming Google though. That's right, folks. Don't trust Google when it comes to the Constitution. Maybe I should get a partner. Wait, shit. Google owns YouTube now. Fuck. Oh, well, if I'm this video wasn't taken down by Google or what would be YouTube, it'll be a Christmas miracle. It's not even December yet.
Dude, have you heard of the YouTube Heroes program?
Oh God, yes. It's you forget how like every YouTuber I follow is just has covered this already, and I'm just oh God. Let's not get into that discussion because I think
No.
that's and I think we've been on this for quite a while, so I guess let's wrap it up a little bit here. I think that
Yeah, yeah.
we've done a pretty good job covering the topic and giving it a little bit extra content as well. So any final remarks towards the impeachment of Trump and any domino effect that would have?
Um, yeah, I would say that the whole concept of impeaching Donald Trump is a fantasy. It's not based in people thinking this will happen as much as it's based in people hoping or wishing that it will. Uh, so I think that's good news, actually, insofar as it's not a distinct possibility. Um, so there's some optimism for you.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's a dream in order that it's not going to happen because you look at Clinton and you look at Nixon, although Nixon was pardoned, which was a bullshit idea to do. Thanks, Ford. And I mean, it's incredibly unlikely for a president to be impeached, yes, but it's still a possibility to have happen.
Sure, it's still a possibility. I'm just saying the possibility. I think I think the possibility is much lower than you think it is. That's all.
Well, it probably is. Might be higher. I don't know. I don't see it happening. My my whole premise on this was that if Trump was impeached for a bullshit or unjust reason, what would be the effects of it?
Yeah, and there is one more thing I should add here too. Uh, there are betting markets on the internet where you can bet on the likelihood of
Yeah.
future events. And so, if you and I disagree, maybe we should, make a bet about this or something. Or maybe you should like at least log on there and see if you can make some money by your estimation of this likelihood. These betting markets will take bets on all sorts of things, real world occurrences, not just professional sports. So if you listen to this and you very much disagree with one or both of us, maybe you should go on there and try to make some money.
Yeah, or if you have a different idea or you disagree or agree with us, feel free to leave a comment down below. Whether you like or dislike this video, hit either button, hit neither button, I don't really care. It's your life, mates. Do what you want with it. As for now, pondering, signing off.
Peace.